What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode number 2 of our career mode here for FIFA 19. If you guys manage to hit 100 likes by 6 PM, you'll be seeing this at 7. If not, then it'll be up at 4 PM the following day. But hopefully, you guys are watching this as it's come out at 7 because you've managed to hit 100 likes on the first episode. And so, thank you for your support, as I say it all the time. But still, episode 2 here with us today. We're going to be starting our Premier League journey with this Brighton side. 3 games to come, 1 against Watford. Then we take on Manchester United and then Liverpool. The first game is on legendary difficulty. Don't worry though, for the games against Manchester United and Liverpool, we bump it up to that ultimate difficulty I was in fact talking about. I did kind of sit here for a few moments, as you can see right here, and deliberate whether or not I wanted to do this one on ultimate or legendary or see what was going to happen. But given the way that I played against Stoke and given the way I was still finding my feet, I felt like legendary was the way forward to go. But as I said, don't worry, because the next 2 games in today's episode are on ultimate difficulty. But still, Vicarage Road is our first visit in the Premier League. We will be going away from home to take on Watford, who in real life won this fixture by 2-0. And so you kind of look at that and have to say that it's going to be quite an interesting game here. I'm hoping that my Brighton side don't come to Vicarage Road and lose it 2-0. I'm hoping we can get the right result that we're kind of looking for here. And I should also mention, if you have left any comments on the last episode about new signings, I recorded this one before that one went live, and so I apologise, as I said, if I haven't done them yet. That'll be done on episode number 3, so don't worry, I have taken your suggestions in, and I'm just going to record episode 3 after I've looked at those signings. But the first game then of our first career mode here on FIFA 19, and start as you mean to go on, basically. As you guys know, FIFA 18, I was giving away quite a lot of penalties towards the back end of it for silly challenges, and things didn't really improve here, because inside 6 minutes at Vicarage Road, Bernardo, our fullback, kind of just clattered into Deulofeu, who went down in the box, and it gave the captain, Deeney, the chance from the spot. He stepped up and scored to make it Watford 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 0. And already inside 6 minutes of our first season in the Premier League, our first major competitive fixture, we were a 0 down. So I don't like doing things the easy way. I've got to give you guys that. And I know for a fact that this isn't going to be just a one-off. I will give away quite a few silly penalties and just not have the greatest of times early on in this career mode. But hopefully as the time goes on, we will get a little bit better. We were actually able, though, to get on the equalising terms again. 22 minutes on the clock as Pascal Gross found his way through. And he curled it into the bottom corner to make it Watford 1, Brighton 1. And at that point, I felt like it was going to be quite a competitive fixture, this. Both teams are fairly evenly matched, I would say, in terms of what the players are out there. I've got to say, I think Watford have the slightly better rated side, but when it's us in control, I feel like anything is possible at the end of the day. And Pascal Gross going through, he slotted that one home brilliantly. And that camera angle right there, it looked so good from it. But at 1-1, feeling pretty confident moving forward as Ollie Watkins found Martin Montoya. He laid it across to a completely unmarked Florian Andone, and he scored our second of the afternoon to make it 2-1. So a complete turnaround here at Vicarage Road so far. Watford taking the lead from the spot, but defensively looked very, very shaky as Andone just kind of ghosted into a little bit of space. I don't know what happened defensively to their centre-backs, but you can see right there, Andone completely unmarked, able to basically just tap it home as if it was an easy goal for him to score. So a complete turnaround, but as the second half was in full flow, Watford did this. 2 episodes in, and I think we might have seen one of the goal of the season contenders, or goal of the series contenders as well, because this is just absolutely ridiculous. I genuinely don't mind conceding goals of this quality, and if it's more like this to come, I won't care if we're losing games, because this is sheer world class. The ball in from Pereira. Unfortunately, Bernardo didn't have a great game all evening long, and he kind of got I guess the brunt of it from myself. I looked at the game afterwards, and I genuinely felt like, from my perspective defensively, he was a letdown. But I mean, you can take nothing away from the overhead kick there from Gerard Deulofeu. And on another day, it might have been a winner. Although, we were able to get ourselves back in front again. I've got to give credit where it's due. This Brighton side just don't like being behind. They don't like being on the back foot. They want to get themselves in front again. As we found a way through, Florian Andone's shot deflected underneath the goalkeeper. And that was enough to give us a 3-2 lead. And more importantly, enough to give us our first win of the series here. 3-2 thriller at Vicarage Road, including an overhead kick from Gerard Deulofeu, and yet he hasn't even won the game. We're going to take a 3-2 win in a very, very hotly contested affair. But there's negatives and positives to take from the game. Negatively, you know, we were defensively poor. We only really gave away 2 opportunities, which Watford took in both of the occasions. And Bernardo didn't have a great game. So defensively, that side weak. But going forward, we created, we were able to score, and we did what we needed to do. And I've got to say, I feel like Andone, he got 2 goals there, but his second one, I think, might have been going off target. But the goal stood. It took a deflection, and the game actually gave it to him. So by my account, that means it must have been on target. Although, when I watch it back, I'm a little bit unsure as to whether or not it would have been. So this is new. A new little league-looking table type thing where we can see it on the left where you currently are placed, and then on the right, fixtures, like who's played who, what kind of results there were. So as I said, we're bumping it up to Ultimate for the visit of Manchester United to the Amex Stadium. And interestingly enough, they drew their opening game of the Premier League 0-0 to Leicester City. So if we can use our home advantage here, the fans get behind the team, I think we've got a result here in the bag, hopefully. But then again, it's Ultimate. Now, this is fairly unknown territory for myself. You know, this wasn't a difficulty in FIFA 18. This isn't something that I've played regularly. I've tried it out a couple of times. Last time I tried it was on Squad Battles of Ultimate Team, and I got absolutely slapped by Ultimate difficulty. So, by all that account, this will be quite funny. Because in terms of if you're a betting man, you're probably looking at this and thinking that DJWood's going to get absolutely slapped here. We'll find out if that was, in fact, the case. There's 18 minutes on the clock. Pascal Gross, this is wonderful. The ball through to Anthony Knockaert. He delayed it just long enough before finding him. The delivery here, right, I've got to say, it's a little bit weak, but the defender makes an absolute meal of it, which allows Izquierdo to have the shot, and my goodness me, what a shot it was. We took the lead at the Amex on the visit of Manchester United, the game which in real life finished a Brighton win, and I genuinely couldn't believe it. Our first game on Ultimate difficulty in the entirety of FIFA 19, and we'd taken the lead as well. We fell behind at Vicarage Road, but this time we were in front at the Amex. Whether or not we'll be able to hold on to that, there's still a mighty long time to go, 70 minutes plus here, but that from Izquierdo is absolute quality, and that really did put a smile on my face. Until Man United, they got themselves back into the game. Bernardo's off, but Bong comes in his place, and then he makes a mistake. I just like, when I did this, my head was in my hands. I couldn't believe it. I just basically let them back in the game. We defended resiliently for large parts of the game, took them till the second half, and Gaetan Bong, you know, at that point, what do? You're running your backs towards it, you're facing your own goal. Do you kick it out and just give them a corner? Which I was a little bit unsure about what to do, because I've seen that corners might be a little bit overpowered. Do I try and put that back out? Unfortunately, I got caught in 2 minds, pressed the button, and Gaetan Bong sadly gave it straight to Ander Herrera, who equalised for Manchester United. There was a chance late on for us to try and get the full 3 points. A long shot from, I think it was Proper, saved by Romero. But unfortunately, and I say unfortunately, even though a point here is still a very good result on Ultimate difficulty, these are the types of points we'll have to get if we're trying to get our mid-table, you know, position. Unfortunately, we could have actually won that game. If I didn't make that mistake, and if Bong didn't make the mistake at the back, we would have beaten Manchester United and won our first game on Ultimate difficulty. Sadly, that wasn't meant to be. The mistake was made, and in fact, we do only get the single point from the game. But even so, it's positive, you know. Again, a little bit unfortunate defensively, and I didn't feel like we did the greatest piece of defending in the world. But one mistake, one goal, the best teams will punish you for it, unfortunately, and that's what we found out there. The third and final game, though, of the episode today is at Anfield, one of the league favourites here in Liverpool. Of course, you've seen their front three. You've heard about it before. You guys all know just how good it actually is. Mane, Salah and Firmino are the front three that Liverpool have, although there was no Firmino in the starting 11 for Liverpool when we took the visit to Anfield. It was, in fact, Mane, Salah and Mandzukic who would start up front for the Merseyside club, but it's still a pretty deadly strike force. You know, you got Mane and Salah out on the wings. Big Mandzukic straight down the middle. And in fact, Mane was actually a player to watch as well as it popped up there. We're going to see the two teams, though, line up in just a moment. I'm hoping that I don't get a copyright strike for this and that the graphics are allowed. But that is the Liverpool lineup then. Alexander-Arnold, Van Dijk, Lovren and Moreno at the back. Midfield 3, Grujic, Fabinho, and Henderson. And as I said, that front 3, very, very dangerous. Gaetan Bong retains his place in the side ahead of Bernardo. Just felt like he didn't make as many mistakes as Bernardo did, but there's still time. Unfortunately, I spoke about corners very briefly. This is why I don't particularly want to give them away. We don't necessarily have the best defensive team defending set pieces here in Brighton. You know, we've got, I wouldn't say a fairly short team, but just like, I've never been great. You know, my teams, when I set them up, never ever seem to be able to defend set pieces. And crosses, that's another problem, as you guys saw. But Marco Grujic rises from a corner. It's a great header. I've got to give the credit where it's due. But again, inside 11 minutes, we were 1-0 down and chasing the game, which Pascal Gross had the greatest chance of the first half for us, but he dragged it narrowly wide of the bottom corner. And thought for a second we were going to go straight back on to level terms. Again, though, as I said, that was the driven shot this year. If you don't know how to do it, the 2 bumpers on Xbox, or LBRB on PlayStation, and shoot is the no low driven shot. Gross again with the best chance of the second half now, a deflected shot, which Alisson reacted very quickly to in order to push that one behind. We had chances in the game, the latest from Izquierdo as he put the ball in, and it was well defended again, this time by Van Dijk of Liverpool clearing his lines. We had chances to get ourselves back in it, but it was in fact Liverpool who would have the best chance of the second half. Another delivery from a corner, Dejan Lovren the man this time to head it into the net, but major worries about Matty Ryan, because he wasn't instructed to come out for that corner. That was him doing it all on his own. So when he did this one, moments later, just a hopeful ball, which he completely misses, I was sat there shaking my head, not really sure whether or not he's going to be the best fit for our #1 shirt here at Brighton. I did check his traits after the game, and it does actually show him coming out for crosses and collecting them. But if you're going to do that, you have to win the ball, as we fall to a 2-0 defeat there at Anfield. So 1 win, 1 draw, and 1 defeat so far from our opening 3 games. And of course, 2 of those on Ultimate. As you can see, rushes out rushes out of goal and comes for crosses. But as I said, if you're going to do that, you have to actually get the ball. He rushed out on a corner. He didn't get it. Lovren put it in. He rushed out from a hopeful delivery from Moreno. He didn't get it. It could have on another day gone in as well. So worrying signs there from our new, I guess, well, not even new, our #1. Maybe we need a new #1 at the club, potentially. I'm going to leave it for now. I'm going to check out what you guys have said in regards to who you want me to sign for this, third episode we're going to be going into next. And then we'll have a little look at potential goalkeepers to try and come in. 2 players, though, promoted from the Youth Academy. Gordson is in, and so is Edwards. Gordson, 4-star skill moves, 2-star weak foot, can play in numerous positions. He's one of the more exciting prospects to come out of the Youth Academy, but there we go. And Edwards as well is a fullback from England, so we'll see how he progresses. But as the episode comes to a close then, guys, as you can see right there, we sit in 11th place after the first 3 games have been played. And surprisingly enough, some of the the lower tier teams in the Premier League that you'd expect maybe be struggling are actually doing okay. Huddersfield are in 4th at the moment. You know, you got Bournemouth in 8th. So these are the teams that we're probably going to be fighting for that mid-table sort of positioning. But until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy the episode, a like would be greatly appreciated. As always, thank you for your all continued support. Really excited for this year's FIFA. If you are new around here, like what you see, the subscribe button is down below. Alongside that is a notification bell, so click it and never miss an upload. Till next time, guys. Adios.